Right, we've been talking about market patterns, the market reversal patterns, market structure. We were focusing on the inside bar a lot last couple weeks, M's, V's, and W's. So pretty much we're just going to keep reiterating the patterns that we're seeing. We talked about Uncle Jim a little bit last week. Today we can kind of identify some Batman patterns, a half a Batman, because that is a thing. And then we could talk about, of course, we'll have to mention double tops, triple tops again because of the way that Batman forms. And then we can also talk about Bart Simpson. If we see some Bart patterns, we'll try and find some Bart patterns just to kind of talk about the structure of what it looks like, what's going on in these patterns when the market is consolidating like this. And then we've got good old Man Ray. Can't forget Man Ray. We've got our Man Ray pattern as well. That helps us identify what is going on in the market. So I want to do first, I want to see, does anybody know what pattern is forming here? Let me get this erased. All right, W, absolutely. Now, do you guys see the other pattern that is forming through here? Nope, not the M. There we go, Tanya. Tanya's starting to get it. Glow's starting to see it. All right, it is an inverted head and shoulders, right? Uncle Jim. All right. You see that? If I flip this, it'll probably be a little bit easier to see. Right? This is our handy dandy Uncle Jim pattern. Now, just like I was letting you guys know, Uncle Jim is a head and shoulders. The only difference is that it gives us a double top, a double bottom. It will turn into a W. It will turn into an M. I was thinking about the launch pad, and you wouldn't be wrong there either. So that's the beauty of the way that I teach you guys. I'm giving you guys multiple ways to identify the market, right? As long as the launch pad works for you, or Uncle Jim works for you, or however, whatever pattern is easiest for you to spot, look for that. Because that's what we were talking about last week, is wherever you see the W's, wherever you see the V's, you're gonna see head and shoulders patterns, right? You're gonna see the accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. It's all gonna be in that same area in the market. It is the same area in the market per se. So I'm totally fine with that, with you guys having those multiple ways to identify this market structure, right? So yes, this is Uncle Jim. Head and shoulders, however you want to look at it. And it's important to identify, right? So are you usually on the 1 day view when looking at these? I mean, you can identify patterns on any time frame, right? Like I can go down to the 4-hour time frame and I can see it, but you see how long it takes for this pattern to show itself. So typically when looking for patterns, I would advise you guys to look on the daily. Nothing lower than the daily. The only reason is because when you look on higher time frames at these patterns, you start to see these candle stick formations a lot clearer. Excuse me. Right, you start to see the candlestick formations a lot clearer. So like I'm gonna show you an example. Here's a 1 hour of what the same head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders pattern would look like. But for some, you come to the 1 hour and you only will focus on this one area of time. Being on a 1 hour time frame, people don't think, let me look all the way back. Let me just zoom out and see what is going on in the bigger picture. So typically, yes, I will tell you guys to start on a higher time frame. All right. And so now, actually, so here's the other thing too. This is why I tell you guys to look at a higher time frame. Who sees the large pattern that we are in right now? Who sees it? Does anybody know what's going on? Let me zoom out a little bit more because this is actually pretty crazy. Does anybody see the large pattern that is at play right here? I mean, I guess I could see the head and shoulders, but yeah, I'm thinking more so the W. Exactly. Right. I'm thinking more so this W that's right here. That's really what I see. So this is why consolidation. Yep, absolutely, Daniel. Absolutely. All right. And so that's why it's important to understand where we are in the market cycle. So this is just like a recap, guys, of just how to identify patterns, right? We're not doing anything specific. But if you see, right, if you take a look at what is happening, we had a drop, we have price consolidate, we have price reversing. So ask yourself, where are we in the market? We've had a drop, we have price consolidating. What would be the next? Would also consider this head and shoulders as a Batman. This one? Not necessarily. The only pattern, so this is the pattern. This is what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at any of this small stuff because this is the large pattern that's playing out. Right? So now, if we want to identify our first pattern, it is going to be, I'll just back it up and show you in real time. Not real time, but we'll back it up first. All right. Bart Simpson, right? The first pattern we're going to talk about today is Bart Simpson. Make a note of it. Make a little doodle. It might help. The reason why we call Bart is because of who he is and what he looks like. When you come to the pattern, when you come to the market, if you see price consolidating across the top, right? Just literally bouncing up and down, consolidating across the top, looking like a heartbeat monitor. This is Bart Simpson. You guys see it? I wish I could drag this picture and take it out and put it on my chart. All right, that is Bart. This is Bart Simpson. Of course, his eyes are a lot rounder than this, but you guys get the idea. Right? Is that clear? Are we understand? We understand that? All Bart Simpson is, guys, is price will go to a high, price will come to a low, and it will consolidate across the top. That's it. It will literally come and consolidate, right? It will bounce up and down, back and forth all day, every day, however long it wants to stay in this pattern. What we are looking for, right? I'll show you a way to trade this because, of course, there's a way to trade it. Is the same thing I always tell you guys. What do we like to do? What do I like to do? What do I like to do? If I see consolidation like this, what do we do with consolidation? There we go. All right. There we go. What do we do with consolidation, guys? There we go, Renee. There you go. You guys are starting to understand it. All right. We just box it up. We box it up. Right. And the reason why we box up consolidation is to identify what two key points. What two points am I looking for? What are those two things called? There we go, Tanya. There we go. All right, support and resistance, right? All I'm trying to do is identify support and resistance of my consolidated zone, right? So when you get an idea of where your baseline support is and baseline resistance, you box it up, right? Exactly, AKA launch pad, however you guys want to call it. But now we know it's Bart Simpson, right? So even if, let me bring it back a little bit further. Right? This pattern is so beautiful because it is one of, I believe, the easiest to identify once you have the relevant information to connect it to, right? Because this consolidation is clear. Everybody has seen this consolidation in the market, right? But a lot of times people don't know how to continuously identify it because it may look different to them. They may see it reversed, right? Because remember, we're looking at it this way. This is the way that the market actually is. It is it's at a low, right? And we are seeing it going to the high. But I like to always flip my chart because Bart Simpson's head is right side up, right? So if you are somebody who has a hard time identifying this, just know that you can flip your screen and it's going to give you the same result. The same result. Now, where Bart Simpson is, as far as a bearish drop is what a launch pad is for the bullish move. Does that make sense? Right? So where you guys see Bart Simpson this way, understand that it's just a launch pad. It's a bullish launch pad. It's the same thing. Where's the button to flip your screen? So for me, I'm on a MacBook, Daniel, so I'm doing Options I or Alt I, but it should be the same for you. Alt invert. Did that work? It should be Options I or Alt I. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And that's how I flip my screen. So for those who can identify maybe bears patterns easier or bullish patterns easier, just know that flipping your screen tip is so much help. That's honestly helped me identify a lot of patterns. It's saved us in the market a couple of times, just being able to change that perspective and see the market a little bit differently, right? So when coming to the market to identify a Bart Simpson or launch pad, right, you want to get an idea of where baseline support and resistance is. Now, I believe Will asked me as far as, well, what time frame am I identifying these patterns on? Now, do you see why I say it's a little bit better to do a higher time frame? I mean, we could watch this, right, on a 1 hour time frame, but look at just when you look at the overall picture, right, 1 hour time frame, you're going to see these huge dips, these huge gains. But when you go to the daily time frame, you realize price has been in consolidation for about 4 years, 5 years, right? When you really look at what's going on, price has not gone anywhere for about 5 years. We really haven't gone anywhere in this market. So when I see this, right, when I see this, I know what happens when prices consolidate. What happens when price is consolidating? What is the other word that we use for consolidation? Accumulation, right? Same thing happened down here. Price had been accumulating for, again, about 3 years before it decided to break out, right? But we see what long-term accumulation brings. It brings long-term gains. Now, that's why I like this for the daily time frame. Now, just looking at structure, right? Identifying what's going on. We now see the bigger picture W. We've identified a Bart Simpson pattern in the past, right? And we now see that we are currently in the same market cycle of the Bart Simpson accumulation. The cool thing about this pattern is it's pretty self-explanatory. And the Bart Simpson pattern has helped me be able to identify and know whenever you see price consolidating this long across the bottom or the top of the market, a huge move is coming. A huge move is coming. All right. And just the easiest way to trade this again is box it up. At this point, we're going to wait for a break above our zone. All right, it's a daily time frame, so this could take some weeks. This is again another, if you guys have been looking at any of the other setups that we've been using for this boot camp, this is what we're going to be looking at for the year. All right, we see this bullish move that is setting up for GBP CAD. We know that, you know, a lot of these markets are at these lows. They've been at lows for almost a couple of years now because of everything that happened with COVID. So it's only right that some kind of pullbacks or reversals or something start to happen. But we're seeing this, right? This whole 2 weeks, we've been breaking down reversal patterns, and we clearly see reversal patterns, right? So we've had our Bart Simpson, we had our accumulation, we've had the distribution. But what did price do on this end? What did price show us? What kind of market structure is it giving us? Right? If we still were unsure of which way this market was going, what type of market structure are we seeing being created in this market? Let's see who understands what I'm asking. What type of market structure are we seeing be created within these zones of this market? All right, keywords, market structure. What kind of structure is being presented? There we go. Okay, Arlene, you're so close. Cookie, you're on point. But what is the structure of the market? Right? What do you get in that type of market? Cookie, what structure should we be looking for? All right, there we go. There we go. Structure, higher highs and higher lows. Now, if this is my low and this is my high, what is this? All right, if this is our low and this is our high, what is this area in the market? There we go. It's a higher low, right? It's a higher low. Right, so remember, I've showed you guys the higher lows. We were looking at larger time frames. This larger time frame still shows consolidation, right? It's still showing the consolidation. So if we went to an even higher time frame, this structure would probably be 2 candlesticks, right? 2 candlesticks. But I want you guys to start understanding how to identify that market structure. All right, because that just being able to identify where the low is, where the high is, where either your higher high or your higher low, if you can identify those first 3 points in the market, you know where 4, 5, and 6 are going. You guys understand what I'm saying? Right? If you know where 1 and 2 are going, you know where 3, 4, and 5 can go. Because after we get a higher low, what is the next form of structure that we typically get? All right. Higher highs. Now ask yourself, are we in a cycle of the market where a higher high can be presented? Right? Do we have structure that can give us that higher high? Do we see any kind of pattern? There we go, Renee. Now you guys are starting to understand how this connects, right? Now we have even multiple options, right? Because I told you guys we've got what? The W, we've got the Bart Simpson pattern, right? We've got also, here's another pattern in here I want to try and show you guys. I don't want to confuse you though. I'll save that one for the next day. Let me get these dots out of the way. All right. All in all, the 3 or 4 patterns we've been studying, we see in this market, right? On a higher time frame, this is a V somewhere. All right, I want you guys to understand that. You guys see how once you start getting to these higher time frames, patterns change. Right, so now, and that's when you start to see these patterns, you can scroll through the time frames that fast because you understand that the pattern isn't going to change. It just becomes clear, right? You see the same thing. The market is showing the same thing, right? But it's the lower time frames where you get more noise. Does it get a little bit harder to understand, oh, this is a ranging market? Because some people only see this portion of the chart, right? But understanding that this pattern, whatever pattern you see right here, is playing out in a bigger pattern on a larger time frame. Whatever pattern you see on that larger time frame, it's playing out into a bigger pattern on a larger time frame. Right? So the smaller time frames are only making up the patterns for the larger time frame. That's all that's happening. So it's always a good idea to start TDA, right? And move top down, because if you get an idea of what the large picture is, by the time you get down to your 1 hour time frame, you already know how you are entering this market. Would you trade this for long term or wait for the breakout? No, you can trade this. You can trade this now, right? So how do we start identifying patterns on larger time frames, but then entering that market in real time? Same thing. Just look for patterns. Once you find your Bart Simpson, now that we identify and we know that we're in the W, right? We're in this leg of the Bart Simpson pattern. What type of candlesticks now do you think you're going to be looking for? Right? What type of candlesticks now? Now that we've identified our pattern, right? We've identified the market structure. What type of candlesticks are we going to be looking for? Right? There we go. Now do you see? There we go, Tanya. That's the one I was looking for, really. Inside bars, right? Inside bars. You want to look for continuous more reversal patterns, right? More continuation patterns in your structure. So to recap everything, because these days now that we're just identifying the patterns, we're just talking about how to see it. But what I'll also do is work in what we did this past week, right? With the identifying of the smaller patterns, the haramis, exactly, the morning stars, the dojis, the inside bars, right? Now, this is where everything we were learning those months ago is now coming together, right? Now we've already known how to enter the market for months. We already know how to identify our engulfing patterns. We know how to identify, right, consolidation. Now this is more so getting our eyes used to seeing the everyday reversal patterns that the market gives us, right? And understanding how to attack those patterns. Because a lot of times I used to see this consolidation, right? And see this move and think, okay, well, bam, that automatically should just be a bearish pennant, right? But I was negating, because yes, in a, how do I say this, right? To somebody else, this is absolutely a bearish pennant. That's not to say that price can't come dip back down here below this box, which would fill out the pennant and then still continue for a reversal, right? So that's why it's something about patterns that are they're unique, but they're also complex because you see so many of them at a time. And the question is what pattern should I be trading? The best way to answer that I found the answer is, what is the large picture? What is the bigger pattern at play? Even though, yes, this is a bearish pennant, the bearish pennant is a smaller pattern within the large W that is playing out. All right. We see the structure of the W being held. So that's why I'm trying to get you guys used to identifying these different patterns, but also understanding market structure at the same time, so we don't get faked out by the pattern, right? Because what this pattern will do is give the manipulation, right? What I mean by that is, because this is a bearish pattern, right? Of course, it's going to anticipate bearish breakout. But this bearish move, if this happens, right? If price does want to come from this down here, would still not break structure here, nor would it confirm a bearish trend. This would just be a pullback, right? So it's just little things like that, understanding how to read the pattern within the pattern, because technically this pullback can happen. As long as price were to respect this zone here, you could see this same thing happen. All right, so it's understanding all options. That's why I like patterns, because when you know how to trade a pattern, you can prepare yourself for whatever may come. Right? GBP CAD though over time is gonna go bullish. The pound is just gonna go bullish. Just everything that's getting ready to go on. It's gonna be a rough year for the dollar, from what I've just been seeing. Like, I haven't even really been on the charts trading wise because we've been in boot camp mode. But it's gonna be a rough year for the dollar. It's gonna be a rough year for the dollar. That we know. I have that pennant on my chart with high and higher low in the pennant. Exactly. And so that's the other part, right? Once you identify, you can say, okay, well, I have a bearish pennant at a higher low, right? Now you can start talking like a trader. Having a bearish pennant at a higher low still gives me the anticipation of that higher high coming out, right? It still gives me the anticipation just because of where structure is here, right? Now that we know that this is the higher low, we also know that price would have to break this low to be considered anything other than bullish, right? Price would legit have to break these lows. So that's the cool thing about identifying patterns, understanding market structure, is you can know where the market's going to go, right? Do we understand the Bart Simpson pattern and the launch pad? Because it's one and the same. We understand Bart and launch pad. Cool. I just want to make sure. Cool. Let me see if I can find Batman. I'll come in here and we'll use this for Batman. Now I want to find a better one, but I'll give you guys the same concept, right? Batman and Bart are going to be very similar in structure. They're going to be very similar in structure. The Batman pattern is also a reversal pattern, right? Batman is also a reversal pattern, right? And so what does Batman look like in the market? Let me see. Let me see. I know GJ's got some nice spikes. Let's see. because I want to find like a clear Batman. And if I don't, it's okay. I can also show you half Batmans too, because that is a thing. Yeah, I'm not seeing it how I want to. I mean, they're kind of there. Nah, I'm trying to find some clear Batmans for us. Nope. Is Batman a stock hunter? Yes and no. Batman's more of a double top. I mean, I guess we'll go here, right? We can use this one. This one's gonna be a little difficult, but I'm gonna try my best to show it to you guys. All right, what is the structure of Batman, right? Batman has 2 ears and a forehead. All right, it's got 2 ears. We'll call it, I say this is the forehead, right? Because it's the top of his head. All right. But we're looking at it from the front, so it's the front of his head, really. It don't matter. But it's got 2 ears. That's the most important part of the structure, is this first spike. So the pattern that we have also been getting used to is a head and shoulders. That first initial spike up, right? This also is the left ear for Batman. We see that? We see that, right? Everybody understands that this is the left ear for Batman, yes? Now, the next key part of structure is what? What was in between his ears? What's in between his ears? His forehead, right? This is where we get that spike and consolidation, right? This is Batman's forehead. Do you guys see that? That is Batman's forehead. Now, this specific pattern is what we call a half a Batman. Why is it only half a Batman? Because we did not get that next initial spike up and price it just fell. All right, that will happen. That will happen, right? The key identifier is that left ear. Well, you kind of see it in the half circle too, right? You got left ear and just half of the forehead, right? A half of Batman is going to fall. The ear is an A as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now do you guys see how all of these patterns come into play? All right, all of these patterns will be in the same area. They are all the same, I promise you. Batman's, Head and Shoulders, Bart Simpson. It's the same pattern. It's a reversal pattern, right? The structure is the only thing that's different. All right, so we've identified the A in the market. Good job, Daniel. Our left ear, right? When price consolidates and bows, right? This is the forehead. If at this time, because again, all we're doing, guys, again, if you are having a hard time, just box it up. Legit. I don't want you to do anything but box up where you think the support and resistance of the consolidation is. From there, right? If you notice price closes below your zone, take the trade. Simple as that, right? Simple as that. If we do get that pullback of the A, you understand the concept of what's happening. One, we've got inside bars on this side of price, right? we would have inside bars on this side of price. That's the other thing, is you can look for inside bars within these patterns. That's how we get these reversals, is those inside bars, right? And that's just that's all we're doing, is identifying the structure of the pattern, right? And just following the trend. That's it. Right? So there's a half a Batman. I'm going to try and again identify a full Batman for you. Does this make sense? But how far do they have to close outside of your box? Because there have been earlier candles outside of the box. You gotta look for structure. All right, you gotta look for structure. So in this case, let's say we brought, technically consolidation for the majority of our zone is down here. All right. Once you get a candle breaking this zone, so once this candle closed, you take the trade. But again, we already know before price gets down here what the market wants to do. Why? Because we see this A reversal pattern. You know what I'm saying? We've already seen this A reversal pattern. Now we know any consolidation within here is just forming structure for us to find our reversal. If at this point in your zone, you see order block, order block, order block, right? Order blocks, dojis, we know that price does not want to go bullish, right? By this third touch and rejection of this zone here, we know price does not want to go bullish. We are given our engulfing candle, right? And technically that's already the setup. Engulfing candle, take the sell stop at the bottom of the zone, right? So there's so many different ways now that we can trade because of everything that I've given you. We also know this is a bearish pennant, right? So we can go off of that as well. This actually turns into a, so you see how now we've used everything we've been learning in the past months to help us get through after we've identified the reversal patterns in the market structure. Now that's where everything I told you guys first comes into play. We kind of did things backwards. Now that we're focusing on the structure, now that we're focusing on the actual patterns in the market, I think everything that we were talking about before will become a lot clearer for you guys. Because now we've been given the anatomy of the candlesticks. We know what were the opens, the close. We know we're looking for inside bars and everything together at the same time, as opposed to only looking for a master candle. We're only looking for this. Now we know, okay, we have multiple things that can be present at the same time. So that's just really how it would work, right? You just start using everything that we were given. All of the price action just starts to come into play. Candlesticks closing below zones, right? Candlesticks closing below zones. And that's just all lets you know, right? As long as candles are closing below the low, we're going to the downside. Candlesticks closing below the low of wicks, right? We're going to the downside. So you just use price action at that point. This only happens at the top of the market only. Yes, that's correct. Batman, I will say it happens at points of reversal. Which yes are at highs and lows, but they may be not at like the highest of the high, if that makes sense, right? So let's see, do we get a Batman up here? So I mean, we don't get a Batman per se, but we see the M, right? We see that M pattern, we see the A's, so we do still get our reversal patterns at the tops of at the highs and the lows of the market. But why I say it will happen, all right? So look, we're at equal lows. Price is pretty much not at a low necessarily. This is the low of the market, right? But even in here, do we still see, what pattern do we see here? Can anybody see the pattern here in this little zone? What do we see? There we go, right? Inverted head and shoulders. right? So they happen, yes, because this is a low of a market, absolutely, right? So they will happen, but that's what I'm trying to show you is you will get patterns within patterns. That's a head and shoulders, but what is this, right? This is also a pattern. Right, so you start to understand that where you see W's, you get head and shoulders, right? Where you get head and shoulders, you get W's. You guys see that? All right, so they're everywhere. It's just a matter of being able to identify it, right? Left shoulder, neckline, head, right shoulder, right? They're everywhere. All right, so wherever you get M's and W's, I guarantee you that you'll get head and shoulders. I guarantee you you'll get Batman. I guarantee you you'll see Bart Simpson, Man Ray. Oh, Man Ray, that's a pattern we'll go over too. All right, but Bart and Batman for today. Is that an M inside that first W? Yep. All right, see? And you start seeing, okay, there's an M right here. If you guys can identify all of these patterns, you can trade every single move in the market. But you realize how we're not dissecting 30 different charts a day. We are dissecting one chart, understanding everything about that chart, everything about it, the way it moves, the way it breathes, the way it sleeps. That's how it should be. Because the day that you focus on one pair is a day that you'll start making a lot more money. One or two pairs, and knowing everything about the way it moves, knowing when it's going to throw W's, knowing when it's going to throw an M in your sleep, knowing how often it gives you inside bars, right? Knowing, does GJ give me half Batmans or does he give me full Batmans? Do I see Uncle Jim more or do I see Bart more? This is why it's important to understand market structure, why it's important to understand all of the patterns in the market. All right, let's see. Yeah, no, Batman is hiding today. I couldn't see any clear Batmans, but we saw a good one. Let's see if I can use this example. We can use this example too. All right, Batman. We need first what? An A in the market. All right, got your A in the market. Price is going to consolidate, give you a forehead. That's how Batman would look, right? But getting used to understanding and seeing structure will make you not so afraid when price does this pullback, right? You'll understand there's a liquidity zone, right? There's orders in this market. However you want to remember it, master candles, whatever it is that you've learned that is stuck, just know the market moves in patterns. And the easiest way to identify the way that the market is going to move is to identify the pattern that that market is in. Let's see. There was the half Batman there. All right, same thing. All right, we've got our ear. Price kind of consolidates and then just drops. I think drops for a long time too. Yep. Right. And you can catch this whole move just by knowing what this is. Honestly. Right? You can catch this whole move just by knowing how to read the patterns. Is this making sense? Is anybody confused? The pattern is a confluence for your setup. Yes, absolutely. The pattern is a confluence for your setup. That is correct. 9 times out of 10, the pattern will be your setup. We are the confluence. The inside bar is the confluence. The engulfing candle is the confluence, right? The master candle, the doji, the harami. That's the extra confirmation. The setup is in the pattern. And that's why we're identifying these patterns now, because we now know, oh man, as soon as this did this, this was the setup. This was it. That's all I needed to see. Wait for price to pull back. That's it. Once we see price spike, okay, anticipate a second one. This is the setup, right? What people think is the stop hunt really is the entry. What people think is the stop hunt really is the entry. But we can talk about patterns all day. There's more patterns to be able to identify those two. And then when you think about it, that was just one big M. What's up, Unc? You guys see how they all play together? How literally you can see patterns everywhere. Everywhere. All right, everywhere. Even if we backed it up, technically, Uncle Jim is here. This would be Uncle Jim. With price coming back to somewhere down here. Somewhere in here. I'd anticipate them to give maybe a lower, let's see, where are we? We're bullish here, huh? And then bearish. Yep. Yep. Right. So look, understand this same ear dip ear we see on a larger, like it literally is a bigger picture, right? We see the same thing here, ear, dip, ear. It's just one pattern is working its way into a larger pattern. I would be super bearish on GJ if I were you guys. That looks crazy. That looks crazy. Once you start seeing them, you can almost not unsee them. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why sometimes it's good that I do these and we slow myself down, because I then have to explain or point out what I'm seeing, when sometimes I can just come to the chart and say, oh, that's a Batman. Oh, there's Uncle Jim. Right. But now you guys understand how, when just looking at this one small area, we can see so much more. So much more. You guys see this? That's it. That's all we are doing with patterns is literally draw. Yo, do I see this? Do I not see this? Is this present? Is this not present? Half the time, all you have to do is just draw it and just see if it works or not. If it doesn't work, you can always erase it and go to the drawing board again. 9 times out of 10, though, you'll get the pattern right as long as you're looking at it correctly. But yeah, that really is all that Batman is. That is all that Bart Simpson is. It's just being able to identify the consolidation in the reversal, to understand what that consolidation is doing for us. What role does that have? Does it serve in the market? We need consolidation. We need those breakouts like that. We need stop hunts. It all goes hand in hand. All goes hand in hand. We feel better about Bart and Batman. I'll talk about Man Ray too, because there's more patterns that we'll talk about. There's so many patterns. Can you please explain stop hunts? This is a stop hunt. This is a stop hunt. It's just manipulation. It's just manipulation. It's just, yeah, it's just a false breakout. Yeah, no. We've been talking about it. We've been talking about stop hunts. Is inside bars, is that a stop hunt? It depends. Yes, an inside bar could be a stop hunt depending on where the wick goes. Really the hunt about what it is, what a stop hunt is it hunts your stop loss. It's just simple as that. Simple as that. People put stop losses at structure, right? So if this is where my stop loss was, let's say I'm selling this market. I entered the market here and I put my stop loss here. This move is a stop hunt because price literally came right up to this level and immediately rejected. It was a fake out. All right, just a fake out. That's all it is. It's going to hunt your stop losses, aka manipulation. Now we know new AKAs, Batman, though, Bart Simpson, all that stuff happens within those patterns. Was in doubt for a moment. No worries. You're good to go. Good to go. Yeah, the risk to reward ratio is probably going to be in the lab. It's more of a super beginner's concept. So I'm gonna leave that with Jaren. We're figuring out ways to get that implemented. It doesn't fit the boot camp because of what we're talking about. We're just talking about reversals and patterns. So it won't go in this boot camp, but we will be working that. It's all back to the basics this year. That's 2022 is back to the basics. Just understanding the basics of what's going on in the market, to understand the advanced concepts that we have going on in MCA. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I heard the lab was fire yesterday. I heard Brian's class was fire too. So yeah, I'm excited for everything that's gonna happen this year. I'm still working on some stuff on my end. I got some just administrative stuff that I gotta get figured out with on my end to be able to get everything implemented. But I'm really excited for what's to come. I'm excited for this year. We're gonna get right back into our funding. We're gonna get right back into our live trading here shortly, right after this boot camp. Because I need you guys making money. I need you guys paying your bills. I want you guys leaving your jobs if that's what you want to do, however you want to do it. So whatever we need to do to get that done this year, guys, please let me know. If you want to add something to MCA, if you want to see more of something, let me know. But it only works. It's only helpful if you guys are actually participating in it. I'm not doing this for my health. I'm doing this to actually, put us all in a better position. It's stressful. It's not good for my health. No, I'm playing. I'm just kidding. Right. But no, I legit am doing this for you guys. So I want whatever it is that you guys want to see, please let me know. Don't hesitate to tell me. We'll get it worked out. If I can't do it, I'll figure out a way to bring it. I'll find somebody who can do it. But what I do know is we all are gonna get yes, that's actually the next training. Right after boot camp, I have the Magic Keys set up. Right after boot camp is a Magic Keys class. That's the next part of the curriculum. That's what before we start live trading, I'm gonna get you guys set up with everything. That's what this first month, I'd say. I don't really, me personally, I don't start trading until the second week of February. Because again, it's only holidays in the first couple months of this year. So I don't like holidays. I don't like holidays. Hope you guys can tell. Like trading wise, I hate holidays. So as far as trading, like I'm gonna be looking to get us. It'll happen most likely before then, but I don't look to personally enter the market until after Valentine's Day. January, I let them figure everything out from Q4. Let them get all their kinks worked out. Let them cook the books, whatever they're doing for this first quarter. And then we'll get it popping. But I want us all set up structurally first before then. So yeah, this boot camp and then the Magic Keys to get everybody set up with the Magic Keys for when we do get into the scalping sessions again. Everybody will be closing trades with Magic Keys. So that's kind of why I don't want to move with the live trading yet until we get Magic Keys set up for everybody. You will need a Windows. If you don't have a Windows computer, you will need to get Parallels. I have to do so much stuff. There's two different ways to set up the Magic Keys because it's not compatible with Mac. But I'll get you guys set up. And I want to say Cody's got the plug on the Parallel, so you don't have to pay for it. So we'll figure out a way to get you guys the file that you need. Can it be on the phone? Yeah, you can use it on the phone, but it's connected to MetaTrader. So just wait for the setup. But yeah, it can be used on your phone. Yes. What are Magic Keys? This is Magic Keys. It's a risk management tool made to, you can enter the market with the press of a button. You can close the position with the press of a button, adjust your stop loss with the press of a button. It's a scalping tool. It's a trade management tool. His name is, what's his name? Raja Banks, Wicks Don't Lie on Instagram, IG at Wicks Don't Lie. He created this. It's pretty dope because he trades like this, inside bars, just pure price action. And because of the way that, we know that the market is volatile, he's legit just closing as candles hit certain markers. You could take partials with the press of a button. So yeah, we'll get that set up. I say boot camp. We'll probably be done with boot camp by the end of this week, and we can do Magic Keys first thing next week. So that way, by the end of next week, we're ready to start trading. But yeah, should we get it before then? You can, if you want to. That was, I'm not forcing anybody to get Magic Keys. I'm having us get it because I know a lot of people are wanting to scalp. And for the scalpers, this is what you'll need. You'll need a Magic Keys. You'll need something to be able to easily close. You know what I'm saying? Easily close. If you got 10 positions open and you're in heavy, you know what I'm saying? Then yeah, you're gonna want the Magic Keys. You're gonna want the Magic Keys for sure. Let me see. I believe that's everything. Oh, I won't be able to hold the Asian session. I'm gonna see if Jaren can, but I will. I'm gonna be telling you guys today. I'm gonna pick 2 people from. Perfect. I'm gonna pick 2 people to tell you guys I'm gonna get you guys squared away for the month. Get you guys taken care of. So you guys don't have to worry about that. Pat, I said your email. I'm still working on something for you. I'm not sure why you can't get in. At this point, I think it's something. Yeah, I think it might just be the phone itself. I had this issue with somebody else. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I do still have. I want to say we've got 2 or 3 NFTs still to give away. Haven't forgotten about any of that. We were just getting through the holidays and everything. So now that the holidays are over, we can get back to business. We'll start having, some team calls, some fun stuff. The giveaways are gonna stay. That's not going away. That wasn't just a 1-time, 2-time thing. I've got a lot more stuff that I'm gonna be implementing and bringing in for you guys. I'm just super excited for this year. I'm really, really excited for 2022. I think this is the year that we start accomplishing everything that we were talking about for the last couple of years, and everything that you guys have been trying to do. I know that we are going to be doing that this year for sure. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Is a fib class still on the table? Yes, Jaron actually has a course for that. So that's the other thing too, is we're working on actual courses for you guys. So that way, it's not, how do I explain it? We're working on courses for you guys. It's the best way I can put it right now. We're working on solid core foundational classes that won't be changing and things like that. So yeah, we got a lot of exciting stuff coming for you guys. A lot of exciting stuff. Yeah, Tanya, exactly. Exactly. A lot of things to help you guys become more profitable traders, honestly. But yeah, that's really it, guys. I'm not gonna keep you too much. That is what we had today. I just can't stop smiling because I'm super excited for everything that we've been working on. I just can't wait for you guys to see everything Jaren's been working on, Brian, Cody. We got a lot of stuff, guys. A lot of stuff for you guys, man. It's gonna be so cool. It's gonna be so cool. But other than that, yeah, that is gonna be the conclusion of this day for boot camp. I like that. I like that. I like that. So if you guys have any questions, you know where to find me. Me too today kicked my mental block. There you go. There you go. All right. You guys know where to find me. At me. Message me. Blow me up if you need to. If you have any questions, please. I'm still going through to check the homework from last week. Still checking through there. Thank you for sending all of those patterns. I really appreciate it. So class will be at 6:30. You talking about tomorrow morning's boot camp? Yes. Back to our normal class. Back to our normal time. That was just because I was sick and I didn't have the energy to get up that early. But I'm good now. I'm back on my 5 o'clock wake up time. So yeah, we're good to go. 6:30 in the morning, I'll see you guys. Well, 9:30 in the morning, East Coast, I'll see you guys. And yeah, stay happy, stay hydrated, stay healthy. I will see you guys in the chat. I'll see you guys later today. Adios, guys.